Okay, we're recording. So let me go ahead and share a screen here real quick. And I've got a little slideshow I want to go through with you and make it a little bit easier to go through this video. Here's my info, and I'm a realtor here in Colorado. So 5 things you need to know if you're moving here to Colorado, and especially if you're buying a home. So I've got 5 good tips for you. I try to go through this kind of rapid fire, so then that way you don't get too bored. So that's a real challenge. Okay, so the first one, okay, location, location, location. So, everybody talks about making sure you get a good location. That's definitely important. But I think the other component is to make sure that you're aware of everything that's around you. So, for example, here we have a lot of fracking, horizontal drilling for oil companies. And then you get the traditional oil wells. You've got landfills, either active or no longer active. Make sure you're in tune with what's happening. If there's any highway expansion, any old nuclear facilities, we have one big one in the area, and there are some new home developments that are built right next to it. So make sure you're aware of that. Mountain homes, you have issues because of forest fires, and make sure you check out the septic tank and the wells for water. So just make sure that you're aware of where the house is located in relation to some of these other issues. The other thing that I think it's important is just because you see open land right next to the property that you're considering, that is not necessarily designated open space. So any open land can be developed either for residential, commercial, industrial, or for some of these oil wells and fracking. If it's designated open space, that's a proper term, and if it's open space, then it's going to be either owned by a city, by a town, by a county, or by an HOA. And then you want to check if they have mineral rights too, so that way you don't see any potential fracking or oil drilling on the open space. Okay, number 2, remember the home builder rep works for the builder and not you. So when you go to new construction, you meet the really nice sales rep there. They're very friendly. They want to get you into a home. They work for the builder. They don't represent you. So my best advice here, if you're considering new construction, make sure that you're represented by a realtor. A realtor can help you through the entire process because as a buyer, you have rights even when you're buying new construction. So don't get bullied by a builder, and make sure, ideally, that you're represented by a realtor. So for example, like myself, I've been a realtor since 2002, and I've helped a lot of people buy new construction. So if you're looking up my area, like Boulder, Longmont, kind of North Denver, Westminster, Louisville, Superior, Broomfield, kind of that area, Erie, I can help you. If you're looking into other areas, I can refer another realtor who can help you. And the other thing is, builders, they use their own contracts. They don't use a standard contract that we use as realtors that are approved by the Real Estate Commission. And then generally these contracts, they protect the builder more so than the buyer. Who knew, right? Okay, number 3, very common sense, but make sure that you research the schools, the public, the private, and your daycare options. The other part here, we do have open enrollment here in Colorado, but it's a lot tighter now than it used to be. And I have a lot of experience with that. Both of my daughters, they open enrolled into peak to peak, and one is in high school and one is in middle school. And I have a lot of experience with that. And then I know a lot of people who have been through the open enrollment process and don't. I mean, here's an example. A couple years ago, we looked at another high school, and the principal during the tour said, "Don't worry, if you're in the Boulder Valley School District, you're going to get in. Don't worry, guaranteed." Well, that didn't happen. A lot of people open enrolled, they chose that high school, they didn't get in, and then they had to look at other options. So it's just a very emotional process as a parent with your child. And, we open enrolled to another middle school when my oldest daughter was younger, and we didn't get in. And my daughter was heartbroken, for a week. She cried. I mean, it was a really difficult situation. So if you're going through that, that's something that I could help you with. And then any other realtor who works in an area, who has expertise, they're going to be able to help you too. Okay, number 4, it's been a seller's market the past few years. So tight inventory, very competitive, multi-offers, especially in the 300 to 400, but we're seeing it even in the higher price points. So you have to be patient. Don't get frustrated. It might be a good option for you to rent initially for 6 months to a year, and then that way it gives you a little bit of time to kind of get settled in. And then again, having a good realtor can help you through this process in making sure that you can be competitive. So when a house goes on the market, you're out there on the first day or the second day or the first day that you can go do showings, and you can have your realtor help you through that. But my advice here is just don't get frustrated and be patient. And have a realtor who's going to be patient with you too. And then the last thing that I think you need to know, because it can be challenging when you're making a move, you're considering Colorado. It's a lot different now moving here than it was 10 years ago, because cost of living, the prices have gone up. It's very competitive, but it's totally worth it. It's a great place to live. The climate is really awesome. Sunny 300 days of the year, the outdoor lifestyle, being able to get outside and hiking and mountain climbing and riding your bike, and your kids out on their skateboards and out playing sports. A lot of people do soccer and baseball and softball, and so many outdoor sports for the kids, for the family. So it's just a great place to be outside. Skiing, some of the best skiing in the world is here with Aspen, with Vail, Breckenridge, so many great ski resorts. And then the other thing that's nice about here is Denver is really thriving. So when I was younger in the 1980s, and I was a single person, Denver was dead. I mean, there was nothing happening. People would go to work and then they would go home, and nothing was happening in Denver. But right now, it's really thriving. It's got a great culture for single people, for families, a lot of cultural events, great sports opportunities, sporting, all the 4 major sports are represented here. So just so many things to do, so many great restaurants, and it's so much fun. I mean, I grew up in Boulder, and I live in Louisville, just outside of Boulder. So for me to get to Denver is about 30 minutes, but there's so many great places now that we go to Denver, can see a show, could go out to eat, and a lot of diversity in terms of different types of restaurants. And then the last thing I'll say about that it's a great place to live is that it's a really good place to invest in. Buying a home here, the real estate values have gone up, and it's been crazy the last 5 years. I mean, I know the house that we live in, I'm in my home office. We bought it in 2004 for like just under $400,000, and comparable houses are selling just like our home for over 900, over $1 million. So that is a good thing. It is challenging when you want to move up. So that's why inventory is so tight, because you don't see as much people moving up because they're happy with where they're at. But if you're looking at a good place to invest, you're going to come here, be 10 years, 15 years. This is a very safe place to be because people want to be here. And we're seeing so many companies that are moving here, the big companies like Google. You know, they have a huge presence now in Boulder, a lot of high tech. Oracle has a big facility here. Amazon is considering their second headquarters here in the Denver area. And even if we don't get it, it just says a lot that Denver made the second cut out of 20 cities where Amazon's looking at their HQ too. So really pretty exciting. So those are my 5 things that you need to know. Here's my info. You know, feel free to contact me, Mario Jannatpour, and I work with Remax Alliance, and I'm in the Westminster office. I currently live in Louisville. I grew up in Boulder, so I know the area. I've been here a long time, and I'd be happy to help you. Or if you're looking in another area here in Colorado, contact me, and I can find you a really good realtor. So let's stop the screen share so you can see my face again. So thanks for stopping by. Mr. Penguin here in the corner, he's helping me. There's a copy of my book, The Honest Real Estate Agent, and I wrote that for new realtors. So thanks for stopping by today, and I'll talk to you next time.